Latha H posted a question in our last video regarding the GST-B500, if this is the successor to the new Casioaks, because it has the Casioak design, it has Bluetooth, solar, and the full metal features. There's actually some truth to that, but let's examine the GST-B500 to truly see what it really is. The new GST B500 is the latest connected model from the G-Steel line of watches from G-Shock. This just got released a few days ago and is leading a big change in the G-Steel line. G-Steel is a whole category of G-Shocks that's purposely built to be tougher and pricier models than the brand's typical resin offerings. This used to be the place to get your full metal G-Shocks along with the more advanced features. This category is still a bit more affordable before you start dabbling into the MTG or MRG plateaus. G-Steel models have their own distinct look to them through the years. However, with the new V500 releases, you'll see why people may think it's the Casioak successor. The new models still sport the full metal construction and all the advanced features present on previous models. The advancements start with the module. G-Steel is known for its advanced shock resistance around its module inside the case. With carbon core technology, they're now able to make the module thinner. They also share some parts with other G-Shock models such as the Casioaks. This is why people may think this is the next step for the 2100 line. But this is where most of the similarities with the Casioak end. From the back, you can already see the fixed bracelet mounts, a big feature of the 2100s that's lacking from this G-Steel models. Okay, but the rest of the watch looks a lot like the 2100 line, practically using the same parts. This is true once you put these two lines beside each other. It has an identical bezel design, the diagonal panel display is practically the same, and of course the signature hands are also there, although slightly more angular. You could even contend it's the same dial and module from the 2100s that was simply dropped in this G-Steel case. Note they are different modules by the way, but with mostly the same features as the new B2100s. With the GST B500, do you really need a full metal Casioak? This could be it. It is a definite option, but here's why this is not the full metal Casioak. It all begins with the bezel. The GST B500 has its own bezel design. I know it's just a bezel, but this is a big departure from the octagonal design of the 2100. It's a lot simpler too, with less facets. That's why it's called the Casioak in the first place, a reference to the iconic Royal Oak design. Another big deviation is the bracelet structure. G-Steel models are known for their flat and prominent center links. This is far from the flat, thin, and horizontal bands of the Casioaks. This is also one of the big features of the Casioaks, the ability to swap straps. Bear in mind that Casio does not encourage metal band swapping if you look at their previous metal banded models. But now that we have seen it beside the 2100 collection, let's look at its actual predecessor, the GST B400. Here you can clearly see the evolution of the category. All of the hallmarks are there. The band design, the bezel screws, although it's a flat head this time around, and the angular index sculpture. However, as was noted before, the dial has changed with a simpler, more spacious layout. I prefer the simpler new design as it's more visually easy to look at while displaying the same information. The case design was also revamped. There are still angular facets, but they cover less realty space now compared to the B400 models. The taper is more aggressive and the band is significantly narrower. This is mainly because of that reduced thickness and lug-to-lug distance. G Paradise, a Japanese-speaking channel, had a hands-on review of this new model and had it compared against the B400 series. This is clearly more compact and thinner. A couple of millimeters makes a big difference. You can also see how they use the same case construction from the 2100s with the hex screws on the side of the case. The video also demonstrates the IP coating used on the gold model that has the same feel with Casio's gold full metal watches. It also compares the G-Steel watch against the Casioaks, so check this interesting video out. The GST-B500 will be offered at 5 different variants, with prices retailing from $400 to $500. The plain steel models will have the lower end of the pricing, while the IP-coated ones will go for a premium. It's very clear to me that the GST-B500 line is a totally different collection coming from G-Shock. The biggest indication is the serial number itself. It's called the GST line. It's not the same as GA or GM 2100s. That belongs to a totally different family. But I'm still confident that G-Shock will release a full metal line of the 2100s collection. We'll just have to wait. But if you couldn't wait, you can have 2 GM 2100s with an aftermarket bracelet and you'll get this mod. You can see it right here in this video on how I made it. Maybe slightly lower like that.